I'm Fox 4 meteorologist Andrew Shipley, and for months I've been tracking Lake Okeechobee for its high water levels, keeping a close eye because, as you know, high lake levels could mean runoff into the Caloosahatchee. But now with El Nino conditions developing, the forecast calls for a wetter than normal dry season. That means getting water down in the lake could become just that much more difficult, a dilemma decision makers are trying to work out.
Almost any other year, and you tell me the lake is at 16 at the start of the dry season, and I'm celebrating, right? Because it means we have water in storage to use throughout the dry season.
But not this year. Akin Asawina with the South Florida Water Management District says an El Nino dry season requires water managers to make tougher decisions, with the lake level potentially not dropping as much as they would like during a typical winter.
With imagine Lake Okeechobee, isn't what happens in the season you are in. It's what happens the season after or the season after that.
That next season being next summer's wet season, and whether there's enough room in the lake or not.
Key is you don't want your bank to have a big balance at the end of the dry season. You want it to be depleted so you can store all the rains we'll get.
And if it's not low enough,
then we have a risk of getting a lot more water coming to the lake that we have to deal with, which means potential for discharge, which is something we don't want to do.
So what do? Asawina says it's a balancing act of not ending the dry season too high, but also not too low either.
But if you send big discharges now, and then this year is an unusual El Nino year in that it doesn't get as wet as we think it would, then you would have that risk of overshoot that we're also trying to avoid.
As of right now, the Army Corps of Engineers is planning to stick to only beneficial releases into the Caloosahatchee as needed.
That only allows you to move so much water out of the lake, and it all depends on what's going on with throughout the dry season with evaporation, transpiration, and rainfall to see where the actual lake levels land. Ultimately, our goal is to bring lake levels down.
Water managers are telling me that we're very much in a holding pattern to see what falls in the bucket this dry season. Either way, the Corps says it will be difficult to get the lake down much lower than we were heading into last wet season, around 13.5 feet. In studio, meteorologist Andrew Shipley, Fox 4.